pre-kindergarten for all 3 and 4-year-olds, which makes perfect sense except for the fact that Head Start has been one of the largest failures in American governmental history. If you look at the record of Head Start, it has provided virtually no benefit to the kids who have been a part of Head Start. Also, as people like Elizabeth Warren used to suggest, right? She wrote a book called The Two-Income Trap back when she was actually an interesting politician in the early 2000s. Elizabeth Warren suggested that perhaps funding things like universal child care or early education actually drove families to put both members of the parental crew in the workforce, artificially driving up housing prices, artificially creating shortages in the labor force, and creating unemployment. And by the way, giving kids a worse quality of life in many cases, because it turns out that kids generally do better with mom or dad at home than they do in a random daycare facility. Again, this is not a referendum on whether women should work. I don't care. When I was at home, when I was a kid, my dad was at home with us and my mom worked. Right now, my wife is a doctor. Right? I'm all in favor of women who want to work working. But the notion that you have to incentivize a family for both parents to work, that has to be the incentive for both families to work, and we're going to make we're going to essentially make it harder for women to stay home and fathers to work, or the opposite, is not actually good public policy. Paid family and medical leave for American workers, which again, this is basically designed to alleviate the consequences of personal choice. Right? The idea is that no one should lose benefit in their career trajectory for taking time out of the American workforce. Question, why? Why? It's a choice. We all have choices. Those choices come with consequences. The great lie of modern society is that you can have everything you want and that somebody else will pay for it. That ain't the way real life works. Okay, but that is Joe Biden's proposal. The plan also calls for devoting hundreds of billions of dollars to fighting child poverty and ensuring affordable childcare nationwide, again, to try and ram people into the workforce. Also, the idea of devoting hundreds of billions to fighting child poverty, what they mean by that is signing checks to parents. That has never been an effective way of fighting child poverty. The left believes the way you fight poverty in the long run is just you sign people checks. That is not effective. We have spent $22 trillion in the war on poverty. Precisely the same percentage of Americans are living under the poverty line now as we're living under the poverty line when we started the war on poverty. The way that you actually get out of poverty is you incentivize good choices. You incentivize things like waiting to have babies until you are financially stable and getting married and getting a job, right? These are the ways you actually get kids out of poverty, not by signing checks. If signing checks just got kids out of poverty, fewer kids would be in poverty today. That's for damn sure, since we've been signing checks at record rates for decades in the United States.